Tonight the Stars Revolt by Gardner F. Fox, originally published in Planet Stories, March 1952. Read by Jon Gill. Part 15. Steps sounded on the metal flagging behind him. Angus whirled. A man stood there, leaning on a bent staff, smiling gently. He was clad in a loose woolen garment, white as falling snow. His arms and legs were bare and brown. His face, though lined and creased, seemed almost youthful. "I've waited many years," he said softly, "and no one ever came. Now at last there is someone who has found the city. Welcome. I bid you welcome to the Tower of the Ancients." "Stazar!" cried Angus in a sudden recognition. "The Stazar you know, yes. One of my race is chosen to spend 100 years as guardian of the city, to wait for any who might come to seek its treasures. You are the first who have ever found it," Angus said. "A lifetime of loneliness. Are we worth it?" The old man laughed. "We do not die, not as your race knows death. It's one of our attainments, like the blackness where you saw me." "The blackness?" Angus turned and stared down the metal collar encasing the jet-black pool. "What is it? It must be all over the planet. No one knows what the pool is. It is the greatest product of my race. Many eons ago, a scientist discovered that an atom may be split to create ravening energy. For years, the mightiest scientists of the Elders studied that fact. Eventually, they built machines that could house such awful power. Finally, after many centuries, they developed the pools. The pools are nothing more than the atomic radiation shear energy bottled in vast chambers lined with stala basal, ready for use at any time. In the early days, men died from such radioactivity. As time went on, we handled it more and more. Our bodies evolved, so that the painful burns that caused death became as mere tinglings along the nerve ends. Your own race, that evolved on Kar after the Elders went on, is also immune to it." "Reservoirs of energy," murmured Angus, rubbing a hand on thigh. "If you could harness that energy and turn it into channels of production." His blue eyes widened as breath caught in his throat. Stazar smiled, his old head nodding. "That's what we Elders used. We powered our machines with it. We needed no fuel, no refilling of bins or tanks. It was always there, ready to tap." "Does the Book of Nard mention it?" The old man nodded. "All our secrets are contained in the Book of Nard. Do you want to see it?" They went up a flight of spiral steps into a room where heavy golden drapes hung bright and splendid. On a wooden rest lay a closed book, its cover solid gold, its parchment leaves tainted a pale rose. "Open it," said the guardian. Angus bent and lifted the cover. He gazed on the archaic lettering etched in the thick vellum. "Each man has in him the seeds of his own immortality. He must progress or he must die, and the race is like the man. Who shall say what path that progression shall take? A man cannot know his own future. Neither does the race. This is the Book of Nard, first of the Elder race. With encouragement to all peoples who come after us, we leave this short transcript of our past." Angus lifted his eyes. He stared at the smiling guardian, who nodded. Quickly the pirate touched the parchment, spread the pages wide. His keen blue eyes scanned the etchings while he read the record of those who had gone on. He scanned mathematical and astronomical formula, chemical equations, biographical charts. He whispered, "The entire history of the race, told in the achievements of its scientists. It is all that lives. I don't understand it, of course. I catch a thought here and there, but the entire equation—" "You don't understand it?" "No." The old man smiled. He said suddenly, "Would you like to see some of those achievements in action? Would you like to see the worlds in three-dimensional space, the island universes, the galaxies, the stars and their planets?" Angus said, "I've been out among the 6 worlds. I've seen other systems through telescopes." The old man laughed. It was a spontaneous, happy sort of laugh. "I don't mean that way. Come, let me show you what my race can do." Angus caught him smiling oddly, the corners of his lips drawing down, as though he shared a queer joke only with himself. They did not use the stairway this time. They stepped into a bare room, walled and ceilinged and floored with shining steel. The old man touched a stud on the door. The room of the book was gone. The end. Thank you for listening.